Do you want to get started with the absolute basics of fingerstyle guitar? That's what this lesson will show you. In this lesson, I'm going to get you started on fingerstyle guitar playing. You're going to learn the absolute basics to get you going. If you're new to this channel, then thanks for dropping in. I hope you've got your guitar and you're ready to practice with me. For this lesson, we'll be using our fingers and just one chord, the E minor chord. And you'll see why if you stick around till the end. I'll also give you a few other tips at the end of this lesson too. If you don't know the E minor chord, then there's a link in the description to learn that chord. But why don't you check it out after this lesson? So let's focus on your right hand, as this is the hand that's going to be doing all the hard work today. The fingers are labelled like this. And if you look at the diagram, they often use the Spanish names. So we have things like P for the thumb, which in Spanish is pulgar. I for the index finger, and in Spanish is índice. The middle finger, or medio. And then finally the ring finger, the annular. However, you'll also see it like this. And you'll see T for thumb. And then 1, 2, 3. That may seem more preferable, but the numbering can sometimes confuse you with your chord playing hand. So more often you'll see the P-I-M-A version. For this lesson, we're only focusing on the thumb and these three fingers. Okay, not the little one, or for our American viewers, the pinky. The other's insane. So we've got the fingers, now we need the pattern. And we'll be using standard common time, or 4/4, which has just 4 beats in the bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. For this lesson, we're going to keep the tempo quite slow. The thumb, or the pulgar, if we use the Spanish term, usually plays the lowest notes, and more often than not, the root note, or the bass note. For us, our lowest note is going to be the low E, or 6th string, like this, and with 4/4 time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I hope you've got your guitar because I want you to play with me. Okay, so after 4, we're going to play 4 bars of just the thumb. Okay, just like I did a moment ago. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now let's start adding the other fingers. The first finger, the index or índice, is going to play the open G string or the open 3rd string. And it's going to play it on the 2nd beat of the bar. So we'll now have the thumb and the first finger, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now let's try that together. Remember the thumb and the first finger, the thumb on the first beat, the first finger on the 2nd beat. Okay, here we go, ready to play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you can pause the video here and try that on your own for a while, or you can hit that like button if you're getting value out of this. Now it's time for the 2nd finger, or medio finger. And this will play on the 3rd beat of the bar. Okay, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now together, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so again, pause it here. Have another go and also hit that like button. Okay, and here's the last finger we're going to use. It's the ring finger or the annular. Hope you're enjoying my Spanish. And any idea which string this is going to play? Answers on a postcard, please. So it'll play the top E or first string, and it'll be on the 4th beat of the bar. Okay, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so join in with me. We're going to use all 4. We're going to use all the fingers now, the thumb, the 1st, the 2nd and the 3rd. So ready? Together after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well done. And this is the most basic, but it's a really incredibly effective fingerstyle technique. But what about the chord, I hear you ask? So, okay, let's play that E minor chord that I mentioned before. And you can see the diagram up there. And so if you'll finger the chord, like so, you'll see that the strings that the right hand are playing are the ones that are not actually fingered on there. And I did this because I thought it was better to make this as easy as possible for you, so that you're not worrying about fingering the chords and making sure that the notes are all ringing out true. Why complicate things? So now you can play a basic fingerstyle pattern over the E minor chord with your thumb picking the bass note or the root note of the E minor chord. And the bass note of the E minor chord is the E, the low E string. And the 1st, 2nd, 3rd fingers are playing over the top 3 strings of the chord. So have a look at this. I'm going to play the pattern with the chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. And no chord. Brilliant, A. So that's the pattern. It's a beautiful little thing, and it's just the start of your fingerstyle journey. Practice it, and then in another video we'll look at different chords with the same pattern and what root notes to play. But don't go just yet. First of all, click that notifications button to stay up to date, and if you've liked this video, then why not hit like and subscribe. It's always nice to have new members in this guitar community. I said practice, but how? Practice how we did it during the lesson. In fact, why not go back and practice with me again? Or you can practice just the thumb, and then the thumb and the 1st finger, and then the thumb, the 1st finger and the 2nd finger, and so on. And you can also start to speed up. And a good way to keep in time is to use a metronome. Now there are plenty of metronomes online, or you can download an app on your phone. Also, something I get asked about is what to do with your fingers after you've picked a string. After you pick with your thumb, it's okay to rest it on the 5th string or the A string, as this doesn't need to ring out. So I generally do this. And if you see the thumb, and now it's just resting there, relaxing, having a bit of a break. And the A string is not being used. As for the 1st, 2nd and 3rd fingers, so after you've played them and you've lifted your finger off, let the string ring out. Okay, so it's going to go. Okay, you can hear the strings still ringing out. Another common question that beginners often ask is about nails on the right hand. Well, you can keep them short or you can have them long. And a lot of guitarists have long fingernails as it gives them a different sound to the string when it's picked. But you don't have to have them too long. I hope that hasn't put you off your lunch. So let me know in the comments if you think you'll be a long or short fingernail fingerstyle guitar player. In this second fingerstyle lesson, we continue to look at a very basic fingerstyle pattern for beginners. In the first part of this fingerstyle series, I showed you a really basic fingerstyle technique with the E minor chord. We also looked at the fingers and the names of the fingers, and remember that in many books the Spanish names are used. We also looked at a very basic pattern using 4/4 or common time. Now, using the same fingers, we'll look at a very similar pattern, but for each beat of the bar, we're not going to play one note, but 2 half notes. So in 4/4 or common time, each beat is 1 note. So where before we played 1, 2, 3, 4, now we'll be playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now we've got in half a bar what we had in 1 bar before. So let's break that down. We're still going to use the E minor chord, but remember, don't worry if you can't play it very well, because none of the strings that are actually fingered on that chord are actually played with this hand. Now in the first beat of the bar, it's going to be your thumb or pulgar and then your first finger or indice. And the thumb will play on the first beat and the first finger will play on the and. And you can get yourself ready by putting your fingers on the strings like so. Don't have them out here, that's just plain silly, okay? So remember, your thumb, you can put your thumb on the 6th string to get yourself ready, and your 3 fingers are kind of already nicely positioned like that. So I'm going to show you how to play this. Have a listen to this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so like the first video in this series, we're going to play together, okay, me and you. So we're just going to do the same again. We're going to play 4 bars and we're going to be just playing the first beat with the thumb, pulgar, or the first finger, the index finger, the indice. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so that was the first beat, and now we've got 3 more beats to fill. So here's beat 2. Okay, and it'll use the 3rd finger or medio, and it'll use the ring finger. And these 2 fingers will be on the 2nd beat and the and beat. So 1 and 2 and like so. So have a listen to this and I'm going to show you how it should sound. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so once again, with me and you together, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So well done. If you're getting value out of this, please hit the like button. So for beats 3 and 4, we simply repeat. Okay, repeat everything. And it's going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so once again, me and you, and let's keep the rhythm nice and slow and steady and even. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we've got two patterns now. We've got the very basic one, and now we've got the new one that we've just been looking at. So let's combine them. We'll start with one bar of the original, the basic pattern, and then the second bar will be the new one. So one bar of the old, one bar of the new, one bar of the old, and one bar of the new. Okay, so have a listen, and then we'll have a go together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, here we go together, nice and slow. And remember, try to let the strings ring out. Okay, here we are. So play along with me. Listen, don't worry about messing up notes or missing notes. It's natural. Okay, if you miss a beat, try and get that pattern back and in time. Okay, don't panic, keep practicing. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So how did that feel? Can you feel the rhythm in your fingers, or are they still a little bit kind of stiff and kind of clawing at the strings? Let me know in the comments section. Please remember to hit the notifications button and get ready for part 3 of this series. Thanks for watching. What you just heard there was an example of a waltzy 3/4 fingerstyle pattern. And that's something that we're going to be practicing and you're going to be playing by the end of this lesson. Hi, I'm Dave and welcome to Guitar for Beginners. If you're new to this channel, then welcome and thanks for dropping by. As I said, it's in 3/4 time, and what this basically means is that there are 3 beats in a bar. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we're looking at a basic pattern, and like the version using 4/4, we'll be using the thumb and the first 3 fingers. You'll often see these written in the Spanish, where this is P-I-M-A, and the P stands for pulgar, the I stands for indice, the M stands for medio, and the A stands for annular. 8 years in a Spanish-speaking country, and that's all I've got. Otherwise, they're simply known as the thumb, index, middle, ring, or even simpler, thumb, first, second, and third. So for the pattern, we're going to keep it simple. The thumb will be playing the root or the bass note of the chord, and the root or the bass note of the chord is usually on the 4th or the 5th or the 6th string on the guitar. So for example, if we're playing an E minor chord like so, the bass note will be on the E, or the 6th string of the chord. If we're playing a G major chord, then if we change there, the bass note, the lowest note here, will be on the 3rd fret of the low E string, because we've got E, F, F sharp, and then G here. So the bass note is generally the lowest note that you can play on the chord. Let's get into the pattern and take it nice and slowly. As I said, in 3/4 time, in waltzy time, you'll have 3 beats in a bar. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But for this particular finger style, we're going to be dividing each beat into 2. And we're going to be playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So let's try using the open strings. For the first beat, which will be the 1 and, we'll use the thumb and then the first finger. So the thumb's going to play the low E string on the 1, and the first finger will play the G string, the open G string, which will be the and note. So it's going to be something like this. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So now we're going to add the middle finger, the second finger, and the ring finger. And these 2 fingers will now play the second beat of the bar. So the first note of the second beat will be the middle finger playing the B string, and the "and" of the second beat will be played by the third finger on the top E string. And we're going to have something like this. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Now for the final beat, the 3 and, we'll now be using the second finger or the middle finger and the first finger or the index finger, and we'll be playing the B and G respectively, and we're coming back up in the direction of the thumb. Those are the two strings, the B, G, B, G, B, G, and I always think of Barry Gibb. And so I'm going to play those same strings, just open. I'm not going to be fingering anything. And it's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Putting that all together gives us this really beautiful pattern. Why don't you play along with me? So we're just using the open strings. We're using the low E string, we're using the open G string, the open B string, and the top E string. And we're using the thumb on the low E string, the G, first finger, the B, second finger, and the top E, the third finger. And this is the most typical way that we play a basic fingerstyle. So when you're playing the top E string, you use this particular finger, the third finger. When you're playing the B string, you use the second finger, and when you're playing the G string, you use your first finger. And the thumb plays the bass notes, the root notes. And the root notes could be on the 6th, 5th or 4th strings. Even though we're just playing the open strings, it is actually a chord. Which one do you think it is? So we're going to play 4 bars of that basic pattern. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and. When trying to play the rhythm, try and keep it even. If you can, use a metronome. There are many free ones. You can Google it. I'll also leave a link in the description for one that I often use. Don't change the pattern. All right, you don't want to do anything like this. All right, you don't want to do anything like that. Keep it the same. The other thing, try and hit the strings with the same amount of force, but not too much, because you'll get this. And not too soft, because no one's going to hear you. Let's try switching between the E minor and the G. The playing hand will be playing the exact same pattern. We'll be doing this thing here. Also, the root note for both the E minor and the G are on the same string, the low E string. So your thumb will be playing the 6th string, and then it will be playing the 6th string at the 3rd fret for the low note of G. So let's have a go at this. We'll do 2 bars of each chord and repeat that. So E minor, G, G, E minor, G, G, and then we can finish off with a strum of E minor. 1 and 2 and 3 and. We can, of course, also go the other way, starting with the G to E minor, so like so. 3 and. why don't you pause the video there and have a bit of a practice between G and E minor, or alternatively rewind and play along with me. The pattern for this will be the same no matter what chords you're playing. The only difference may be the bass or root note you're playing. So for E minor and G, the bass note was on the 6th string. If you're getting value out of this, why not hit the notification button, the notification bell, ding ding, and keep up with all future content like this one and other beginner guitar lessons. Let's try another change and let's go from G to C. So we know that on the G chord, the root note is going to be the 3rd fret of the low E string. And that's going to be played with your thumb. And what about for the C? Well, if we play the C chord, like so, and if you look at the chart, you'll see that the lowest note is the 3rd fret of the A string, like so. The pattern is the same with the 1st, 2nd, 3rd fingers playing the E, B, and G strings, but the thumb is now going from the 6th string to the 5th string, like that for the C chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and... A nice sound we're getting there. Very simple pattern, really simple, but really beautiful. Let me know in the comments section if you have a song that you like that uses a fingerstyle pattern. One of my faves is Paul Simon playing Scarborough Fair. It's absolutely delightful. Check it out. I'll leave a link to that song in the description. And another change. Let's try going from C to D. All right, so we just saw that the C, the low note, the bass note, root note, is on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, like so. And we're going to play a D chord next. We're going to go from C to D. So if that's the D chord there, and you can see the chart, what are we going to be playing with the thumb? Because we know that the 1st, 2nd and 3rd finger is going to do exactly the same. And if you guessed it, let me know in the comments. Yes, it's the open D string. That's our root note. So let's try that there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and... Let's put it all together now. And we've got 4 great chords: E minor, G, C and D. And they all have a different root note. And remember that you can use this technique with all basic chords. Check out my playlist for all basic chords and let me know how you're getting on. There's the chord progression that we're going to be playing, and this is the one that I played at the very start of this video. It's got the 4 chords that we've just looked at: G, E minor, C and D. And this is a really common chord progression used in many rock and roll songs. And the way I played it is very similar to the way it's played on Earth Angel, that absolutely gorgeous song. Let's have a go at this. You know, this is going to give your right hand, it's going to give your left hand a bit of a workout. And your fretting hand here is going to have to be pretty spot on, really. And so you can, when you practice this slowly. There's no need to rush. Because you want to make sure that, especially with the G chord and the C chord, because the root note, the bass note, is a fretted string, you need to make sure you're right there at the beginning of the beat. Otherwise, you're going to miss the beat and you're going to miss that note. Also, remember, try not to speed up, try not to slow down. Keep the rhythm as even as you can. If you've got a metronome, use it. They're very helpful. Remember, you could be accompanying a singer, and as you're playing the rhythm, you want to be in time. Here's the chord progression, 1 bar of each and ending on a G chord. 1, 2, 3. you're not busy now, why not try my beginner's Scarborough Fair fingerstyle lesson? See you in the next lesson. Hasta luego.